At the moment, we have 5 manufacturing lines in Telangana. We have almost 4.16 gigawatt of solar modules. And solar modules, when I say, we also say TOPCon and we say glass to glass, the latest modules which one can expect in China or elsewhere. Our future expansions are the next couple of months, we are commissioning 1 gigawatt of TOPCon module line. We are setting up 1 gigawatt of TOPCon cell line to meet the domestic content requirement of the country. And over a period of 1.5 years, we are again setting up 4 gigawatt of cell line and 4 gigawatt of module line also in Telangana.
Yes, absolutely. Let's actually have this conversation and take this conversation further. We will actually go to your cell line manufacturing plant right now.
Most welcome.
And let's talk over there and take a conversation forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So now we are actually in the cell line factory of Premier Energies right here in Hyderabad. And I want to continue talking to you, Mr. Saluja, and ask you actually the fact that there is currently a huge shortage, especially when you talk about the domestic market for cells. Is that one of the reasons why your margins and ROE is going higher?
Not necessarily because of the shortage we have increased the prices, but yes, there is a shortage. It may take another year or so for the domestic manufacturing to build up. We are hoping that in next 1.5 or 2 years, there's going to be 25-30 gigawatt of cell line. Then the dependence on China will be reduced. Price-wise, I don't think there'll be much of a difference because we are dependent on China for the basic raw material, wafer.
Right. But then, you know, Premier Energies actually has high portion of cells, which is, right, like I mentioned, we are seeing a supply shortage on that. How does that actually help you to actually go ahead and make most of it in India?
You see, Government of India is promoting Make in India.
Right.
We were the early movers as far as cell line is concerned because many players are there who are already manufacturing modules. You know, setting up a module assembly line is very easy because, as I said, it's an assembly line. The capex is very low. In cell, the capex is only 4 or 5 times of the module line. Plus, it's a process industry. A lot of gases, a lot of chemicals are involved. It takes a couple of months to establish itself. So, being an early mover, yes, we have an advantage. We are able to supply to the domestic content market, and we are also exporting to USA. We are, in fact, #1 exporter of solar cells to USA presently.
Oh, currently. But let's talk back home, because back home now you have these big players like the likes of Reliance Industries or, for the matter of Adani, that are actually going ahead and ramping up capacity in this particular domain. So does that mean that the supply will increase going ahead? What will it mean for you, your company, and your returns going ahead then?
You see, supply is definitely going to increase, and so is the demand going to increase. As it is, the production is very low at the moment. And the expectation is that every year the demand is going to go up by 20%.
Okay.
So if a number of players other than Adani, Reliance, Waaree and others coming in, there's still going to be a huge demand to cater the domestic market itself. Then there's enough potential for export to African countries, to America, and maybe after some time even to Europe, because they are also talking of China plus policy.
Right. So, but the fact that you said that there will be opportunities going ahead, which means that you are looking at those geographies already?
Oh, yes, we are already. We are planning to set up a plant in USA. We have an associate there by the name Helene, whom we are exporting cells for their manufacturing of module in USA. They are joining hands with us, and we are planning to set up a 2 gigawatt solar cell line in USA. We are going in for major expansion here in Telangana. We are setting up a TOPCon line, 1 gigawatt, which will be commissioned in 2 months from now. We are setting up another gigawatt of module line, which will be commissioned in again 2 months from now. In addition to this, we have announced 4 gigawatt of cell line and 4 gigawatt of module line to be set up again in next 1.5 years. We have also announced that we are going in for backward integration, manufacturing solar wafers, and also ingots.
Okay, so what does all of this coming into commissioning or into action, what does this mean for your numbers going ahead, which means that we have to wait for a big boost to your numbers on back of this commissioning?
No, we have been going progressively last couple of years, and that trend will continue. As I said, in June 25, first quarter of June, we are commissioning 2 gigawatt of cell line and module line. That would add to our current revenues, which is close to 7,000 crores. We hope that next financial year will be crossing 10,000 crores. And in times to come, with additional 4 gigawatt each of cell and module line and the wafer line and ingot, we definitely hope the revenue to go on increasing.
All right. So one thing that investors can actually bank on is the fact that Premier Energies is only going to continue growing and the numbers will only get better going ahead. But I wanted to understand about cell technology. That is actually changing rapidly. We've seen a rapid change. So I wanted to understand what exactly Premier Energy is doing right now. Where are you investing? Where do you see new growth opportunities or drivers going ahead? Because this sort of an environment will only keep changing and transforming as days go by.
See, solar industry has been very dynamic.
Yeah.
The technologies have been changing every 3 to 4 years. We have seen poly 4-inch cells, we have seen 5-inch cells, 6-inch cell, and today we are talking of G12, which is 212 by 212 watt cell. Now we are going with the technology. We are already setting up 1 gigawatt of TOPCon cell line, which is the latest technology, and that is we are already under commissioning of the plant, and maybe by middle June we should be ready production. That would also meet the shortage of the domestic content requirement for TOPCon. We are also facility for all our existing module line to go to G2G, which is a glass-to-glass module, and also a G12R module, and then also G12 module, which is 220, 210. The wattage of the module will go up as high as 700, 740, 750 watt also, as against the current 550. So we are going with the technology. We are also working on perovskite tandem cells, which will increase the efficiency to as high as 33, 34% also.
All right. So let's talk about what's happening back home, because you now have ALM2 that is coming, and this time around it's coming for cell. But it's coming at a time when you have also big domestic supply also coming in. So how will it be different versus when the ALM2 came for modules?
See, as ALM has been beneficial to solar module manufacturing, similarly ALM2 for solar cell also will be beneficial for the manufacturers here. Today, non-ALM cells are allowed to import. There will be time that you may have to make a module with made in India cell and made in India wafer, and time coming maybe even wafer. So why not? So there is going to be restriction from government to promote make in India. We are prepared for that, and I think it's advantageous to all of us.
Yes, absolutely. I want to talk about that only. This is a sector which has a lot of government push, at least government impetus coming in, given the fact that this is one of the most next growth opportunity for the country as a whole. But let's talk about what's exactly happening in the United States as well. How will that actually change the dynamics of the industry and the company?
As far as renewable energy is concerned, yes, all the tariffs proposed to be announced by Donald Trump are not going to affect us at all. He is talking of tariffs, and he will definitely impose tariff on number of products. But for cells, they have very little choice, solar, because they don't have the enough manufacturing capacity. They are also encouraging made in USA technology. So that's not going to affect us. What is going to affect us is probably the supply chain for solar wafer, solar ingot, because wafer, 98% of wafer solar production is coming only from China. So it will take 2 or 3 years for India to set up the line and establish a quality wafer which can be used for in-house manufacturing. But we are very confident it is possible, and we will do it. For polysilicon, yes, at the moment we are dependent on China, but over a period, since 30% of world polysilicon is outside China also, we expect that polar silicon is available outside China, which can be imported for manufacturing wafers. In India also, there is a proposal for making solar polysilicon. Some of the companies have already announced, Reliance, Adani, and many other companies. It will take some time, but most of them would be for own captive consumption. So those polysilicon will not be available to the manufacturers of ingot, wafer, or even cells and modules. So now Government of India is planning to come with a PLI scheme. They have announced very recently, only for ingot and wafer. That will give a big boost, and I'm sure in next 1 or 2 years, ingot and wafer manufacturing is going to start and pick up in India.
Right, and that's also something that you're looking at.
Oh yes, we are definitely. We are definitely in the run for that. Yes, why not?
Yeah. So I wanted to understand about your ROE, return on equity, is about 40% when you talk about the assembly line business, right? Assembly business.
I would say both, cell and module put together.
Cell and module put together. So what is the long-term ROE that you're expecting? Is this the number that you should work around with for bettering it?
It should be around the same, unless something extraordinary, unbelievable thing happens. It should be around that. We are very optimistic.
You're optimistic. And for how long are you optimistic that it will be around this number then?
Oh, next 4 or 5 years are going to be a very good field for all solar players in India.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.